Welcome to the Rowdies Rundown presented by Budweiser. I'm Lyndon Blake here with my co-host Tam McCandawiri, and we're talking about our big match this Friday against Penn FC. Started that road stretch off with a loss last week in Charleston, but we can always turn it around against Penn FC this Friday. Raul Voss, the Rowdies' old assistant coach, is their head coach, so it's a little different dynamic from a player going up against a former team. It's a former team going up against a former coach. How does that work?
Yeah, it's very different than a player coming against his former team, because I feel like the assistant coach will really know how the Rowdies are actually going to play. He knows that a lot of the players are still here from last season. So irrespective that we've added players to the roster, Raul Voss really knows this locker room, the systems we play, and what the Rowdies are all about. So this is a very difficult matchup, especially being on the road. This is a tough one.
And it will be a tough one because this Penn FC team, prior to their loss last week, had 4 straight draws. So even though they're not getting the wins, they're playing teams tough. How do the Rowdies make sure they don't do that to them?
Yeah, as you say, it's a very tough team to break down. They sit very deep and they very much wait for mistakes to happen and then capitalise and try and catch teams on the break. And as you say, they did lose 3-0 to Carolina on the road, but I'm not too concerned with that. I'm not going to take that into consideration because, as we know, road form and home form can be very different. And I don't think it will be the same team in terms of how they played against Carolina compared to how they will play against the Rowdies. I think this is going to be a very tight game. I think the first goal is crucial. Penn FC typically don't concede a lot of goals, as the previous results have shown. So this is a tough game, and you add into that all the factors of the head coach being a former Rowdy, Tommy Heineman being a former Rowdy, Lucky Umkasana being a former Rowdy, and Rich Menjivar also being a former Rowdy. You add all of these things into the mix, and it really is an interesting one coming up on Friday.
Looking forward to this match. Again, it is Friday at 7 p.m. against Penn FC. You can head on down to the Big Storm Brewing watch party and receive $1 off pints and your Rowdies gear. So stay tuned to that match and join us again next week here on the Rowdies Rundown.